Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Driving the World podcast. I'm your host, Jared Scott, and I have with me Joe Tetzel. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, Joe is responsible for marketing in the United States, and I thought I'd help us fit the narrative that we're talking about, and that is trade shows. With I'm wearing my official trade show socks to match
You're
you.
twins today.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, um, the trade shows are worth your time, but what do we often hear? Oh, is it really worth it? Or why go to a trade show? Why visit the SEW booth? So I just wanted to get into that a little bit. Maybe why people think that, and then how we can counteract that point.
Yeah, I hear that all the time actually, because trade shows are very expensive to attend and to exhibit at. But we find that having people on site where our customers can stop in and talk to engineers and salespeople and other experts in the booth on site has so much value to it. They get so much more out of that as opposed to a phone call.
Sure.
Access to having that kind of um, engineering expertise on site is so important.
So I definitely agree with you on that. I think about like a typical trade show. You may have representatives there that maybe I'll just say they're not the experts. But how could you really tell us about what does a SEW booth look like? Like who's going to be sitting in those booths or standing in those booths to help our customers?
It's funny you mention that because a lot of companies that exhibit, they bring support people that are not um, an engineer or an expert on their product. They're there to kind of fill the space and pass out literature or something like that. That's something we're totally different about.
Yeah.
We bring a lot of engineers and other product experts, including some of our advanced salespeople, so we can help so many different areas, especially with questions about projects our customers are working on or where they're having a trouble or similar things like that. Having an engineer in the booth that has expertise with packaging machines or factory logistics, things like that, is so valuable, especially because so many other exhibitors are our customers and they can come visit the booth and get questions answered right there.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that point. So when we look at a typical trade show
Mhm.
booth, I guess you'd say it's more than just a couple of cool TV screens with videos playing and people dressed sharply like with our typical trade show outfit. What is the experience of the customer when they go into that trade show booth? What are they gonna get?
Yeah, a lot of times when a lot of companies, not like us, will have just products on a shelf. And we're different. We typically bring some operating machines that have our technology in them so they can see how things are applied in the real world. And that's so valuable because seeing a product on the shelf doesn't tell you how you're going to use it back in your factory when you get back. So we have real world examples there and the people that help build those to be able to talk people through the process of how they work and best practices.
Yeah, makes me think about the famous quote. At least we know it's famous within our walls. But Ernst Blickel, who said that people want solutions, not products.
Exactly. And that's what we show them on the
Yeah,
floor on the show floor.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know we have some swag here.
Yeah, you need a pen?
Yeah, I just so happen to have a few of those in my desk, but it's great to give out these pieces of swag and
Mhm.
everything because we love to put our brand out there. But what really is our brand beyond the logo? What is it we're promoting when we step into these trade show
For
booths?
us, I would just simply say expertise.
Yeah.
We have people in the booth that can answer nearly any question that a customer or a potential customer can throw at us. We keep experts in the booth, and um, we'll always do that just because there's so much value to it.
So I know there's more to it than you just saying that.
Mhm.
Can you give me maybe a few examples of where customers have come into our booth and it's brought some benefits?
Sure. A lot of times people come in our booth and they think, I know SEW gear motors, but I didn't know you did advanced electronics. I didn't know you did mobile robots and AGVs. We had a circumstance a little over a year ago, I believe it was, where a customer came into our booth. They knew some of our product, but didn't know that we did things like AGVs. It ended up being worth a $3 million AGV order.
Wow.
So there's a lot of cases where coming into the booth brings them, shows them things that they may not have seen before or they don't know that we do.
Yeah. So I couldn't help but think about this happened a while ago, but we actually had a customer at the trade show and they needed a component off of one of our exhibits
Mhm.
so that they could get their product back and running. So even at that level,
Right.
we're there to jump in and our guys went over there and got the machine started up again. And I just think, how cool is that? But that's just kind of like a small example of the bigger picture, which is do customers ever come in there with actual problems and they need them solved?
They sure do. It happens all the time. Lots of times it's, I didn't know you had that kind of product, or they put this in our factory. How do I operate it, or how do I repair it? That happens all the time. And I was there for that event when that customer had some damage to a demo unit.
Yeah.
We happened to have some equipment in the booth that matched it, and we were able to get them up and running.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know what? You don't get better than that when it
Yep.
comes to customer service,
Yep.
do you?
That'll be a customer for life.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And so, I was thinking, there's so many ways people can get in contact with us. We have our website, we can do Teams meetings, phone calls like you mentioned, but just the value of being face to face with somebody. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. But with that all being said, how do we find out about these trade shows? Like, is there somewhere that we can go to, or those of you that are watching or listening in, where can you go to find out where's SEW exhibiting?
Yeah, actually, you can go to our website. We have a
Okay.
full calendar on there.
Yeah.
And we talk about all the larger trade shows we go to. We do many more that aren't on that calendar, small regional distributor type events, but all the ones that we attend are right on our website.
All right. And then maybe just one more thing. If I'm a customer and I'm visiting the booth, what are some things that can help me make my visit beneficial? Like what should I bring to the table, or what should I be ready to talk about, or is there anything you say, "Hey, come in here and let's help you out with X."
It's funny because so many technologies change so often. When we greet someone in a booth, we always encourage them to take a tour of the booth with one of our experts. They're gonna take a little bit of time at every different station and see new technologies, and that often, brings up questions and, makes people think about how they can improve their own operations when they get back. So, I would encourage just a sometimes only takes 5 or 10 minutes, take a quick tour of the booth. Our SCW expert or engineer, whoever's touring them, can ask them about, what they do and see where our products can apply and help.
Joe, I really appreciate you taking some time today. I know there's a trade show going on right now, isn't
Yeah,
there?
leaving
So
tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah, leaving tomorrow. So you're already dressed for the for success at that show. Thanks again. And I'd like to just remind everybody that trade shows are worth your time. Check them out. Go to our website, look at our schedule, come visit us, come say hello to Joe. He more than likely will be there with his wonderful team, being able to provide you with solutions to anything that you could possibly think of.
Exactly.
All right. Hey,
Thanks, Jared.
yeah, thank you. I'm going to take this,
See you
by the way.
now.
So until next time, I'm Jared, your host. We'll see you again on another episode of Driving the World podcast.